New on Curiosity Stream. How do you connect a 16th century potato to limitless energy production? Could Napoleon's toothpick have a direct link to a machine that predicts the future? And how can a 1700s conch shell chart a course to humans connecting their brains to the internet? James Burke's visionary series Connections returns for a new generation. Experience all new Connections. With monthly, annual, and bundled plans, find the one that works for you at curiositystream.com.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
It's the pop culture feel, and you will.
Good evening, all you ghouls and goblins out there. You probably guessed it. It's the Halloween episode of the PCFM podcast. Perfect. Thank you, Izzy, for that great sound effect. Yeah, sitting right at that spooky-ass intersection of weapons, action, the military, and spooky pop culture. I'm one of your hosts, Cameron Fath. Cameron the murderer. Cameron the slasher Fath. And with me, as always,
Israel the ghost, right? Got to come up with something a little more creative than that.
Yeah, well, you hate ghosts, remember? Ghosts are stupid.
Could be Israel the stupid ghost.
I was going to say something like, Israel, his head's not right.
His head's not right. Oh, I got
it. Cameron, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Yes. Oh, Chris.
Bloodbath.
This is what are we going to do with that?
Bloodbath.
Bloodbath Cam.
Bloodbath Cam.
Yeah, Cam Bloodbath. I don't like that. No. Anyways, moving on. This is the Halloween. This is the All Hallows Eve PCFM podcast episode. It's our second year, huh?
Yes, our second Halloween episode. Ooh, that's kind of spooky.
That is very spooky that people still are interested in this podcast. Scary.
How many of you listened to the Halloween episode from last year where we talked about real world army hauntings or real world military
hauntings? Yeah,
ghost stories. Or
yeah, well, we can't do that again because there's only so many hauntings to go over in the military. So this episode is going to be all about horror movies. Horror movies, not horror movies. Horror movies.
It's different podcast.
Different podcast, not this one. But before we start talking about these spooky flicks, just want to make sure you guys are aware that we do have an awesome Patreon, at which there is 3 different tiers for you to choose from if you want, some exclusive access to never before seen content or early access to every week's podcast. You can go to that first tier. Moving on up, you got some more goodies, but check out the last tier, which gives you access to a once a month live stream movie night. Or during the day, whatever we decide on, because it's our world.
You're just living in it.
We're just living in it. Movie live stream with Izzy and I, where it's been a good time so far. Yeah, so you get to interact with us in real time. You get to talk with us, and we watch some cool movies together. It is quite fun, quite fun. But if you're not interested in the Patreon and you just want to donate to the podcast to keep our wheels turning, you can go to Buy Me a Coffee and buy us some coffee. It's very literal. It's literally the name of the thing. And,
all we do is buy coffee with it.
All we do is buy coffee with it to keep us talking.
Dozens of dollars worth of coffee, yeah.
Yeah. So if you just want to do a donation to the podcast, it is absolutely an option. We also have some badass merchandise for you available. So if you want to check that out, head over to our Instagram, PCFM Podcast. Click the link in our description and take yourself over to our merchandise and rock some dope PCFM stuff. Very cool. That's all, right? That's all we got.
Shirt right now.
He's wearing the shirt. It fits really well.
All different capitalistic ways that you can support the channel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Support the podcast.
Yeah. But without further ado, folks, let's get spooky. Okay. Izzy, you want to start us off, dude?
We got a list of some pretty scary, spooky stuff, folks. And actually, Cam, I'm going to go a little bit out of left field. I want to start with this. We might have talked about this a little bit before, but it definitely deserves to be in the Halloween episode. It's a video game called Soma from 2015. It's a PC game. It's a survival horror game you start off in kind of modern day, I think, Canada, Toronto, Canada. And then you go in for like a brain scan. And then all of a sudden, you're transported out of nowhere into the future, basically. It's post-apocalyptic future. You're in this undersea laboratory.
What?
And you don't know what's going on. And
is that the game? Is that the premise?
Well, yeah, it's basically, you come to find out that you are inside, you're not yourself. You're in like a synthetic body. Soma means body.
In what language?
And you're trying to survive, trying to figure out how you got here and what the name of the game is. And there are these half machine, half organic matter monsters that are trying to fight you. And the cool thing about the survival horror is that you don't have any weapons. It's just running and hiding from these different monsters while you investigate how you ended up here. And there are
wait, so you're not allowed to pick up? You can't pick up any weapons.
There's no pipes, no guns, no nothing.
It's all Smith and Wesson. I got lightning and thunder.
Yeah,
those are my
right.
fists. I'm pointing to my fists.
Right.
If you
that's
don't
like
know.
Right.
That Alien game that came out where you're just literally running around the ship hiding from the alien, right?
Alien Isolation. Yep. But even in the Alien Isolation game, you can get weapons, but you only get they're not very powerful, and you can get maybe 3 bullets for them. So the game definitely forces you to run and hide and try to use your survival skills while
Hide
the
under
alien
the table,
hunts you.
Get under the bed,
Yeah.
maybe in the closet.
But the greatest thing about Soma is the story. There's a really great story with themes about human consciousness, what it means to be human, the nature of consciousness, because you find out that this undersea laboratory was working on a kind of escape solution, basically, where they were trying to download their consciousness onto a hard drive, and
like some Johnny Depp stuff.
Exactly, some Johnny Mnemonic stuff, But exactly. What is it? Transcendence?
Yeah,
Oh,
Transcendence.
Man. That's out of left field reference, man. That movie's
sorry, that was
good.
super random. I
Yeah,
know.
of all the movies for you to pull out of your hat, that was the scariest one possible.
Yeah, sorry. Just that one's sitting up there every now and then. It just recollects in my head.
Yeah. So I really, it's a public service for me to recommend this game, because if you like survival horror and you like a good sci-fi story, Soma's really one you got to play.
Very cool. Yeah, that is starting out of left field. Speaking of a game, I mean, this is going to be the stupidest thing ever, but did you play the Maze game growing up?
The Maze game?
The Maze game. Do you know what I'm talking about, Chris?
No.
Okay. Well, if you have a second, Google the Maze game. Especially if you're driving, Google the Maze game and try to play it on your computer.
Google the Maze game right now. Hey Siri, Google the Maze game. Oh God, don't do that. No. Okay, good.
Yeah. Let's see. Maze game.
Not the Maze Runner.
Is it this one that says Maze Game Horror Prank online game?
Yes.
So did Google just ruin it for us?
Sort of, yeah. You're supposed to have it pulled up already, but it used to be an old prank that you would pull on other people. And just make sure your volume's all the way up. But literally, it's a maze, and your cursor becomes a little square, and you have to navigate it through this maze. And the last, it's a couple levels if I recall correctly, but the last level is the most challenging level, and right before you get to the end, you're focusing really hard, it the Exorcist lady pops up on your screen and just starts screaming at you. So it used to scare the piss. It's when I first did it, I literally shit my pants. Because you're so invested, because you're okay, I gotta get through this little tiny corridor, and then boom, it hits you. So if you have any small children and you haven't showed them the Maze game, have them play that. And you
dislike them.
Yeah, and you dislike them, play that game. It's nothing big. It's literally just a browser game. But I just had to throw that in there because I thought it was funny, and I grew up on that. And you started with the video game, so I also had to start with the video game. But what about a movie here, Izzy? What do you got? You got some classics on your list, man.
Classics, man. I had to go with the classics because, I don't know, I feel like they're on a lot of lists for good reason, but the first one is Poltergeist from 1982. The first one, directed by Steven Spielberg, actually.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
BDE.
He didn't direct it. He produced it.
He produced it?
Oh, forgive me. Okay, no,
Yeah, I think
you're right. It was like
Never mind.
Toby Hooper, yeah. But it's still
You're
it's
right.
amazing.
Toby Hooper directed it. Amazing. Because this movie, a lot of the movies on my list have stuck with me to this day, and they are the reason why I am afraid of certain things. Like Poltergeist is the reason why I'm afraid of the dark and clowns.
Yeah, that doll.
because
that doll is...
That doll, I'm telling you, and they did it in the remake. They made it a prominently featured marketing plot point or whatever, was that freaking doll. That
Yeah, well, they
clown
had
doll.
to, man. That thing was so terrifying back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, it's very interesting, like the generational gap, because, you know, I watched Poltergeist when I found out what it was. So it was still like 2006, 2007, maybe when I saw it. So like the effects obviously have been outdated, but it was still such a scary movie. Like the scene where she's like ripping her face off in the mirror, because like, you know what I'm talking about? And she's like, the entire thing is a delusion. Yeah, it's terrifying. And the fact that like her voice when she gets stuck in like the other side or whatever it is, it's like it's a classic horror movie. And the remake was I think was good, but it couldn't beat the original.
I never saw the remake. I guess I just didn't care. The original is so good to me. I think the tree scene where the tree breaks into the kid's room, pulls the kid out and tries to eat him, and then the same poor kid, he gets
this kid gets
attacked by his clown doll.
Yeah.
But I think it's because of like claustrophobia, like being grabbed and held onto and like being like eaten by something is like, I don't know if it's particularly scary to anybody else, but that's like,
it gives me the willies, like that scene in King Kong where they're getting eaten by the insects. That scene really bothers me.
Andy Serkis and the slowly,
the haze,
and he's like yelling inside
the little worm,
of like this worm. Ugh,
that's so gross. If you guys are claustrophobic, you need to watch the movie 13 Lives. Have you seen that?
13 Lives.
13 Lives.
Oh, about the
kids that got trapped in the cave in the Philippines, and they bring in the British divers, and like the Filipino Navy SEALs go to rescue them.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That movie has like your heart beating. And it's not even a horror, it's just based off a true story. And like the fact, have you seen it, Izzy?
Yeah, well, I've seen the documentary. I've seen half of the movie.
Okay, yeah, it is.
Because I'm watching the movie, and it's like, oh, this is kind of just like the documentary. Because the documentary is very good.
Yeah, I heard that. I haven't seen the documentary. I just seen the movie because it has what's his name, who plays Aragon.
Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, Viggo Mortensen plays one of the divers, and he's very
Colin Farrell.
He's very mean.
Cameron, I thought, because when you said claustrophobia, I thought you were going to say the movie Crawl, which is pretty good, but it all takes place under a house that's flooding.
What?
You've never?
It's with the alligators, crocodiles.
Yeah, Crawl's very good.
Crawl. Let me see this.
That's probably one of the better
I've seen the
movies
trailer
I've seen in the last 5 years.
Really? Yeah, I haven't seen. I've seen the trailer for this one, but oh my God, that looks terrifying. I gotta check that out. That's like when it's alligators. Yeah, alligators are super scary.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's not like a Lake Placid, is it?
No. It's well done. It's realistic. It's one of those movies where you're like, well, why don't they just do this? And then they try to do that, and there's a reason why they can't do it, and it's not just.
I love that.
Yeah. Crawl's very good.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed Crawl. I think it's the same kind of. It's either the same people that made. Is it Don't Make a Sound? Is that the one where it's the blind guy and they're stuck in his house?
The old blind guy.
Don't breathe. Don't breathe.
Don't breathe.
Yeah, I think it's either the same people that did that or something similar about it. They feel like of the same kind of.
I got you.
Type, I guess, is what I would say. But Crawl's good. But
yeah.
Back to Poltergeist.
Well, that's it. That's all I got to say about it. I wanted to give you guys a reason why I thought it was so creepy and why I was afraid of static on television for a long time. Thank God that's gone. No more static on TVs.
I know. That's crazy. That's crazy thought. No more static on TVs.
What do you got, Cam?
Well, I'm actually a really big horror movie fan. Like, I used to watch horror movies in my room by myself when I was in the Army.
Oh my gosh.
Just for fun. And it's like, yeah, I just was obsessed with horror, with the horror faction. I like macabre. I like things that go bump in the night. I don't know. They're just super interesting to me. I used to hang out in Hot Topic. But I think it was very interesting. So we have these classics from like the 80s, right? But there was actually in my opinion, a really good little like era around like 2010 through 2014 that just these horror movies came out that were just phenomenal, in my opinion. So this was like...
Wells Fargo presents one of the surest ways to grow your money. A Wells Fargo CD account, where you can earn a 5.00% annual percentage yield on an 11-month term with a minimum opening deposit of $5,000. Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/CD rates to open a CD account and start growing your savings with us.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
When Insidious first came out, which I think just like blew the majority of horror movies away, because that movie gave me nightmares. I mean, they kind of tried to milk it. The sequels were okay. I think like 1 and 2 were really good. 3 was okay, but then they came out with the 4th one. They're just like, okay, let this thing die because you guys are like, we got it. It just became the same format over and over and over again. So you kind of knew when the scares were coming because they were all the same. But like the first and second Insidious were just super good. Like the whole fact that he could, what was the word? What's the specific word? When he sleeps, his soul like leaves his body, and he like entered the ghost realm, and basically, but when his soul leaves his body, like all these other demons are like trying to enter his body because his soul's not there. It's called like, oh frick, what is it called? It's like
It's an actual
thing. So like Insidious,
spiritual condition. James Wan has made a name for himself in the realm of horror. I think he started with, I think he did Saw, or he was a part of the Saw series at least. Saw, and then Insidious, The Conjuring. So he launched a couple of these franchises.
Conjuring, the first one, very good.
Yeah?
Yeah, that one freaked me out.
Nice. And then, of course, he's moved on to Aquaman. He's doing the second Aquaman movie as well. Malignant, which was
Aquaman, the
scariest
one that he's working on.
Oh my gosh.
Astral
first Aquaman.
projection.
Astral projection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Astral projection. Yeah, that's what he has. So he basically projects his spirit into like another realm. Sorry, I was like planetary walking. That's it's close enough. No. But yeah. Oh, you said Malignant, right?
Malignant, yeah. Malignant was just this. I saw an interview with him, and he's like, sometimes you just got to try new things and do something different. He really did, because like it's this kind of weird, like scary, kind of like mysterious. There's a killer or something like that, and then at the end, it just turns into the Matrix.
What? I remember I wanted to see that movie super bad, but like I missed it because they stopped streaming it, and I didn't know where to get it.
I'm sure it'll be back on this.
It is back. It's on HBO Max.
Yeah, I know it's pretty goofy.
Yeah, it's back on Max. Is it goofy? The trailer looked pretty scary.
There comes a point when it becomes kind of goofy.
Okay.
Yeah, and you'll know exactly when that point happens.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. I didn't much care for it because of that, but what can you do?
Well, what can you do?
Yeah.
I also predicted it
Insidious.
way out in front of it, so that also kind of ruins a movie for me.
A little too on the nose with the clues.
Yeah, I was like, this is what it's going to be. And then it was, and I was like so disappointed because I was like, I hope it's not. I hope it's not. I hope it's not.
And it was.
And it was.
Yeah, I'll still check it out.
It was all a dream. No, that would be terrible.
I used to read Word of Magazine. Yeah, but Insidious, I think it's worth mentioning it just because I feel like there was this time, and there's another movie on my list that like I think revolutionized the type of like horror format. But I think Insidious like started a franchise that was just like super that made like make movies scary again. Make America scary again. Like,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, our mass hats.
Yeah, make America scary again. That they were just like rocking that hat. But yeah, I wanted to mention that one because I think it was really good. For its
Tell me
time.
about the other one, man, because I wouldn't mind talking about this one. You said if the one I'm thinking of on the list.
Oh, are you
What's
talking
the other
about
revolutionary one?
the revolution? So when Paranormal Activity came out, you know, it was like super low budget, but really well done. I mean, this was like the movie that their straight marketing campaign was that like people were straight up couldn't like finish the movie and were like fainting in the theater. Like that's what I want out of a horror movie. Like when I read like articles saying that like people couldn't finish the movie because it was too terrifying or they didn't like, you know, or it grossed them out or whatever. Those are movies that I'm like, hell yeah, sign me up. I want to see that shit. So Paranormal Activity,
do we know when that marketing campaign first became a thing?
I don't know.
Your advertisement is that it shows like audience reactions, like people are throwing up and leaving the theater.
People shit. This movie made people shit their pants.
They've been doing that for years because even like I saw you at The Exorcist, part of like the marketing for Exorcist is they would make you sign like a release when you went in to see it because they had said that it had scared someone to death. So they've been doing that.
Yeah.
They've been doing stuff like that for years, but that where they show clips of reactions in the theater, I think it actually kind of started with Paranormal Activity.
I think so too, because like that was the whole commercial. It didn't show the movie. It just showed people watching the movie and like losing their shit.
Yeah. That was in 2007.
Yeah. So, was it? I thought it came out. Was it 2009 or 2007?
2007 is when the first one came out.
Okay. Yeah, but I think Paranormal Activity completely revolutionized the horror sequence. Did Cloverfield come out before or after that?
I want to say after.
Came out after?
Well, if you're talking about like found footage horror, the very first one was the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, it was, the Blair Witch Project, where it's from First Cam. Yeah. Okay, then you're absolutely right. Yeah. Like that wasn't the first movie that did that, but I think
no, but that
I did
like security cam footage one. They were the first to kind of do that.
Yeah, from like kind of our modern day Ring and stuff, like watching all this footage. Like, I mean, it was so scary. Like the first like 2 or 3 were so scary, but then it's like okay. It was the same thing with Insidious. Like they're doing this over and over. Like once you turn this camera, there's gonna be like a knock, and they're gonna turn back and someone's gonna be standing there. Like it was easy to decode. But like the first one, like literally when that chick was like sleepwalking and would just like stand over that guy's body for like hours while he was sleeping. Like you didn't have to, you know, do a jump scare right there. Like that is just scary. Like if you woke up and someone was just like standing above you and you're like, "Hey, are you okay?" and like they didn't answer you or anything, it's fucking scary.
Yeah, I think that's when as I was thinking about why this movie was so scary is it's like it looked. They're just normal people. It looked like it could just be anywhere. Like it could happen to you. You know,
yeah, absolutely.
Because there were no special effects, except at like the very end, maybe 1 or 2, and it's just like normal people, and because of the there's no cutaways, like it's found footage. You feel like you're locked into a perspective, and you don't know what's to your left or to your right. And movies they're shot a certain way, so they can play with the camera angles. But when it's like your first person perspective. Yeah, I think it makes it really like kind of claustrophobic and really kind of paranoid. Yeah, it like kind of combines all the like your senses that like, you know, that actually scare you, like claustrophobia or like not feeling in control or like, you know, I think it was a really good movie. First of its kind, revolutionized the horror scene. I think so. But then they just made like 6 more and 7 more. And it was
that's that Hollywood cynicism again.
Yeah, I know. It's sad, but what are some let's talk about this one, Izzy, on your list, because this one, like, I think took an entire species and just screwed them into, you know, just literally
it's the reason why we have Shark Week, you know.
Yeah, literally why.
Jaws. It's Jaws. The original Jaws from 1975 is the reason why I don't like the ocean.
Yeah.
You know?
I would agree.
Like I saw movies like this, and then you see movies like Piranha, and you're just like, why would I ever want to go to the ocean? And like, we actually have sharks out in Southern California.
Oh yeah, we got huge great whites. We got everything.
Yeah. So it's so well done. Most of the movie you don't see, you know, the monster. It's basically a monster movie. Steven Spielberg when he was younger, and just great performances by everybody all around. And you just don't see it until like
eyes.
Don't seem to be looks at you. I don't seem to be living. Great performances by all those dudes. Yeah, so it just when you see it, and then you look out into the ocean, you're like, I never want to go there because Jaws is right there. He's like 500 meters off, and he's waiting for me. You know?
Yeah. It's just,
but,
I think the thing that makes the ocean so scary is that there's like, is that there's an unknown, you know? It's like we are completely not in control around us. Like we don't have gills, we don't have flippers, we don't have biological mechanisms that make us thrive in the water.
Not made for the ocean.
Yeah, we are literally the bottom of the food chain when we go into the ocean, which is terrifying. We literally become flies. Like
it's also
enter the water.
It's like it's also that it's kind of probably, and you'll probably agree with me here, Cameron, but like space. It's just so vast to us. Like the ocean's so deep, and it's so unknown. Like the fact that they dredge up some new species every other week, where they're like, "This is the first time we've ever seen this shark with no eyes," and you're like, "What?" Like we've been studying it for 100 years. Why haven't we seen this before?
Isn't there like a crazy statistic that we know more about space than we do our oceans?
Something like that. I think there's a statistic, and I'm going to be way off on this, but it's like we've explored 2% of the ocean.
Let's confirm.
Somebody help us out. Send us a DM on Instagram. Let us know how much of the ocean we've explored compared to space.
Well,
okay. It says
a good
currently.
Go ahead.
Currently, according to oceanservice.noaa.gov, so it's a .gov. Currently, less than 10% of the global ocean is mapped using modern sonar technology. 10%. 10%. We've been here a very long time.
Yeah. I think a good example, and this isn't really like horror based. I mean, it's horror in the reality of it, but that airline that disappeared, the Malaysian flight that just turned and just flew like south into the Indian Ocean, and they haven't ever found any bits of it, even though they searched for weeks and weeks, they never found any debris. That's a whole airplane, and it just vanished.
Was it flying over the Bermuda Triangle?
Like flight paths. Bermuda Triangle's over more in the Pacific Ocean.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's like Bermuda down to like, one of the Virgin Islands over to like Cuba, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
some
it's
weird
right
stuff that
south of
happens over there
Florida
too, but
yeah, it's like Bermuda to
But
Florida.
most of that is
Puerto
probably
Rico.
just people ran out of fuel while flying and crashed.
Right.
But it's the idea that
we didn't have.
Yeah, exactly. But it's the idea that like you can just disappear.
And no one will, no one will find you ever.
Like if you crashed on land, someone would probably find you eventually.
Yeah.
Like they're never going to find that airplane.
Yeah, because literally a 25-foot shark will like devour your body because it's convenient.
Who
knows what sea creatures are out there?
Yeah, exactly.
We just don't know about. Mariana Trench,
Yeah, the Mariana Trench, like what's at the bottom of that shit? Who knows? That's a scary thought.
We've all seen the abyss. We know the aliens are down there.
Yeah,
they've been down to the bottom of the Mariana Trench.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, there's some little proby things down there.
No people though, right? No people have been to the bottom of it.
I don't think anyone's gone down in a sub. No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think the pressure
is very interesting.
Great because it's like 5 miles under the surface of the ocean.
Yeah, just think about this. Every 10 meters you add an atmospheric pressure. So at the surface it's 0, but between 1 and 10, or between 1 and 10 meters it's 1, and then 11 and 20 it's 2. So just add all those meters up. And so like 1 mile down, what is that? It's 1,600 meters. So it's like 160 times the pressure.
Wow.
Right? Is that math wrong, or is it more?
No, that's good math.
So it's that's good math school. So it's 160 times a mile down the pressure of regular. That would crush, like that's crushing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Jaws and the fact that everybody thinks he says we're going to need a bigger boat. But the actual, it says you're gonna need a bigger boat.
He says you're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah, he does. Everyone thinks it's we're gonna need a bigger boat. It's actually you're gonna need a bigger boat.
Because he's talking to Quint.
He's talking to the guy. Yeah, he's talking to Quince. Is his name Quince? Quincy.
Yeah.
Is it Quince or Quincy?
Quint Brody, Hooper. Yeah, they're all out there on the
Jaws. Oh yeah, Quint.
And by the way, just special honorable mention acting, Robert Shaw as Quint. That monologue he has about being on the USS Indianapolis, coming back, torpedoed in the water for 3 days or a week or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, amazing. He does a very good job. And I like when they're all drinking underneath the thing. You could just hear the shark just nosing the boat, trying to break it, and they're just all singing songs and showing scars. Thrasher.
Quint has the can, the beer can, and he takes it, he crushes it with one hand. And then Richard Dreyfuss's character, he takes the paper cup or the styrofoam cup and he crushes that.
Yeah, it's just an awesome movie. But absolutely, I mean, people did not go in the water for like months after that movie.
Yeah, I still haven't. I haven't taken a shower actually since then.
Yeah, we can smell.
Yeah, we can smell you through our screen right now. But I'm kind of getting over my fear of the water right now. I'm like trying to go more in the ocean, and like, you know, I've been getting into diving, and like it's still so scary though. Like I don't give a shit about the fish. That's the thing. Like people get into diving because like they want to explore like the sea life and whatnot. But I just want to get good at the skill. So like I give a fuck about the fish.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I didn't go scuba diving, but I did a little bit of snorkeling, and then they had like a special one where you have the...
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides 24/7 compassionate support and connection to trained counselors. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. The Lifeline works. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, just call, text, or chat 988.
The breather, and you hook arms with a scuba diver. They take you down in Australia in the Great Barrier Reef. That was very beautiful.
That's cool, dude.
There's also
sad because we're we're destroying the Great Barrier Reef as humans.
Yeah,
so we need to stop doing that.
I was gonna say there's also
humans,
snuba where
scary.
you can't go down as deep, but you're just connected to they're just pumping air in.
Yeah, snuba. Exactly. Yeah, the full helmets. Yeah, super cool. But anyways, next movie.
Well, hold on. I wanted to bring one up because we so rarely talk about television.
Yeah,
and it's just because there's so
Castle
much
Rock.
Stuff. No, I was gonna say, was it The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix?
Oh yeah, Horror House,
gosh,
so
yeah.
good.
It
was
so good.
terrifying.
Yeah,
it's terrifying.
Yeah,
no, it's
so
it's it has a story. And like every episode is scary. It's like literally watching how many episodes is it? Like 7 or 8. It's like watching 8 horror movies. it's actually it's really good. They did it really good.
Well, just like that's for me. I don't like movies that are like jump scares because you're not scared. You're startled, and that could happen in your house if someone just walks up behind you and doesn't make a noise and just happens to tap you on the shoulder. But like what I liked about The Haunting of Hill House is it's the atmosphere it creates. It creates a mood, you know, like you're uneasy, which, to be honest, all these movies that are on this list, it's the same kind of thing. They put you in this world and you just feel uneasy the whole time. And that to me is much creepier than like even, 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
Like that, not a ton happens in that, but you just feel uneasy the whole time because of John Goodman being John
he's
Goodman.
A creepo. Yeah, he's being a creepo in that movie.
And that's another one where I really hoped that the ending was different than what I thought it was, but it wasn't. I was hoping that there just wasn't an alien invasion. But
he was totally right, yeah.
That would have been much creepier, but it's all part of that Cloverfield stuff, yeah.
Speaking of the word creep, have you ever seen the movie series Creep?
No, that's kind of a monster, like a killer.
It's just a real big creep. Like the entire movie is this one guy.
Oh, it's like a found footage one.
Yeah, it's a found footage, and it's this guy, and he is like just a creep. Like the entire movie is him just being a creep, and like I mean, spoiler alert, it's really
Mark
good.
Duplass.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that you just said, Chris, that like sets a mood. That you're just like, you probably know what's going to happen. Like, you know what's going to happen at the end. But just like, it's kind of hard to even watch. Because you're just like, oh my God, this guy's such a creep. And he does a really good job. But yeah, spoilers, like at the end, he like ends up killing the people. But like, yeah, you're just so uncomfortable the entire time. It's honestly a really well done, low budget movie. Because he does, the main guy does such a good job of just like, you just want to leave because you're just like, dude,
you just are like, I want to get the fuck out of here. That's kind of like,
this dude.
The movie Funny Games. I don't know if it counts as horror, but if you've never seen Funny Games, either the original one, I think it's in German, or the American remake, which is like shot for shot. And the same guy did the remake. He just wanted to make an American version so that people saw it. I got you. Like you're just screaming inside while you're watching everything that happens, and it's not gory or anything. It's just that it's so tense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of
those kind of movies creep me out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't really.
they're not
like
enjoyable.
That. Like, I think.
you know.
Yeah,
No,
they're
that movie's not enjoyable at all. Afterwards, you're just like, ugh.
The Visitors, I feel like, is the same kind of way,
Where
the people are trapped inside the house, and there's people on.
is it the Strangers?
People outside. The Strangers.
Strangers is really good. Yeah, I wanted to put it on this list, but there's a lot of good horror movies out there. But The Strangers was like one of my first horror movies I actually ever watched.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not The Strangers. I'm thinking of The Others. Do you know The Others?
Yeah,
The Others is great.
The Others is great.
That's
I'm sorry. The Strangers the one with...
Sorry. I was going to say The Others.
Oh, sorry. Awkward.
Everybody.
Oh, sorry. The Others. The
cut each
Strangers the
other
one
off.
where they're trying to get in, right? They're wearing the mask, like the 3 people out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
But The Others,
Yeah.
that's another good example of setting the mood. Like they're in that old creepy house. Also, good twist at the end. But
Yeah, great choice at the end.
Just for me, it's like Halloween in general is about setting the mood. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Halloween is my favorite time of the year. Let me tell you. Because, I like creepy stuff, as I've said. And I don't got to say it again because I think you get the picture. But let me ask you a question, Izzy. What scares you the most?
What scares me the most now?
I guess.
In my life?
Or at least a genre of movie. Do you have...
okay.
I'm not going to... I don't want to know that. I don't want to go deep, dude.
I was like fear of failure, fear of
fear
failure.
of failure.
So I can't support my family.
No one cares about that, man. What
scares me the most? I mean, let's see. I'm looking at our list, and I'm trying to think. Well, you know what? The kinds of horror movies that I actually don't like are not don't like, but it's people, right?
Sure.
It's supernatural stuff doesn't really bother me all that much. Alien horror, Dead Space, that kind of stuff. Like it's exciting, and I'm here for it. But like people, like The Strangers and Funny Games, because there are actually people out there that are like that,
Yeah.
and that is not a
the
pleasant
Dahmers and the John Wayne Gacy's and the...
it's the existence of evil within ourselves, which a lot of movies showcase. Actually, that's the point. Things like Funny Games, but like I don't like watching those kinds of movies because when I go to a movie, I don't want to see. Well, I mean, I do want to see a little bit of humanity, I guess, but that's the part of humanity that I don't want to pay money and take 2 hours to go see.
That's like.
Have you ever heard of?
Oh, sorry. Have you guys watched the new the Dahmer show that's on Netflix?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you.
Well, they tagged it LGBTQ plus, and then those groups were like, "You can take that off because that's not the kind of representation we're looking for."
Yeah.
So it's the same kind of thing where it's like. You want to see humanity, but not that part of humanity because you already feel like you understand that part. Yeah.
Well, have you ever heard?
Hard enough.
I know Dahmer's like a big thing right now because the acting. What's his name again? He was in American Horror Story. He plays Dahmer.
Oh, he was. What is his name? Because he's Silver or Quicksilver in the Marvel movies.
Oh, Evan Peters.
Yeah, Evan Peters.
Evan Peters. Yeah, he does a really good job as Dahmer. Like a really good job. But in my it almost makes you almost end up feeling bad for Dahmer in the end. Cause he was just like a lonely guy. I think in the show, he's just like, I mean, he does some fucked stuff, but you're just like, I mean, he's a serial killer, but you almost feel bad for the guy cause he just wanted a friend.
Well, I think some of the best writing for characters is when they have a little bit of well-roundedness to them because that's the horror is that it's us. You know what I mean? Like we think, I could never do something like that. But we all have that capacity within ourselves.
Absolutely. Anybody's capable of great violence.
As humans, it's just, whether it's certain circumstances or psychology or a conglomeration of things that leads this person to go down this path. And we think, oh, well, that's they're just crazy or they're just like this. It's like, well, no, we are all capable of atrocities.
Well,
so
I'm just pumped. I'm just pumped up that they mentioned Ed Gein. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, he was the one.
Oh, he's the OG.
He's OG. He was a He was a ghoul. He dug up bodies,
Yeah.
and Leatherface was based off of him, right?
Yeah, he was like the original like serial killer that we know about, besides like Jack the Ripper, but he was never actually found, right? Jack the Ripper wasn't
No,
actually
they
found?
never found out who he was. Or H.H. Holmes.
Yeah.
Do you guys know anything about
Yeah.
H.H. Holmes?
No.
So during the
H.H.
1893 World's Fair in Chicago, there's a great book called Devil in the White City. And it,
Aren't they making this into a movie or a series?
I think so. But he was a prolific. He built a house, and he killed people in a lot of different ways there because it was like a hotel, and he would just kill. He would gas people in their sleeps, and then their beds would slide, and then they would slide into some room, and he did all sorts of unspeakable things. They don't even know how many people he killed.
That's probably like what American Horror Story Hotel was based off of.
Maybe.
But yeah, but Ed Gein, he would like furnish his home with like human skin. And that shit's terrifying. But yeah. I don't know. Yeah, H.H.
Holmes. I'm surprised they haven't either
touched
made a
that
movie
yet
about him, or maybe there have been some characters that were based off of him, because that's pretty sick.
Yeah,
that is pretty cynical.
He's a twisted dude.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about the depths of humanity, that guy like kind of embodies it. We should start heading towards the exit here on this episode. So.
Okay, I was just gonna mention what scares me.
Oh yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, let me lead you into it then.
Yeah.
So Cameron, same question back to you. What scares you?
I'll be honest, it's gonna sound ridiculous, but motherfucking aliens terrify the shit out of me.
Come on, those jokers,
dude,
those punks, those
they're
clowns.
Real. Aliens are real, and they are terrifying. I am scarred. I am scarred from the movie The Fourth Kind. Have you seen that movie?
This is where they take actual interviews and then they splice them with actors recreating them.
Yeah, the lady from Resident Evil, what's her name?
Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, Mila Jovovich like plays the doctor that was like actual interviewing. So it's based off true story, and they add the footage of like these interviews from these quote unquote abduction like victims. And it's just terrifying. Like some of the things that happens to these people in the movie, it's just like you said, like it's not ghost related, but like, I don't know, there was this one movie that grew up that like also scarred me, but it was just like, contortionism or contortious or how do you say that?
Contortionists.
Yeah, contortionists. You know how they like move their bodies in ways that you can't do. And there was that one movie where the guy's like backwards and he flips his head and he's like running up a staircase at you. Like that shit was scary. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I don't know. That was in The Exorcist, but
yeah, it's like that stuff. But that stuff's all scary. Or like, what's that one movie with Saint Peter where he comes down and he like fights off all the demons from like the diner?
Oh, that was like an action movie. Doug Jones was in that, but like Fallen or something like that. Or Armageddon or
The Prophecy.
Is it The Prophecy?
No, that's Christopher Walken.
Oh yeah. Well, anyways, you know what I'm talking
one,
about.
It has what's his toes in it?
It's
Paul
Gabriel.
Bettany.
Is it Gabriel?
What's that?
Saying is the name of it Gabriel?
Oh yeah. It's.
Is it called Gabriel?
Yeah, it's Vision. It's that actor.
Paul Bettany.
Yeah, but anyways, the ice cream man in it when his like arms grow and his jaw like
Doug
gets big.
Jones, yeah.
Yeah, terrifying. Like that shit's scary. But like in this movie, it just has like people doing some, really weird stuff. Like all of a sudden, like jump scares, but like them sitting up and just start screaming, and like the whole like videotape starts distorting, and this like very dark voice is like talking, and like it's just such a mood. Like it is just an off-putting mood, and you're just like, that's scary. And then like at one point, one of them starts like levitating out of their bed while like screaming, and like their eyes are like turning white, and you're just like, that is terrifying. But like it's honestly Legion. But yeah, that's like some scary stuff. I mean, for like aliens, it's another element of the unknown, right? We're like, are they there? Are they not there? Like, what do they do? Like everybody, we have like the soft side of pop culture about aliens, like Attack on Mars, like when Mars attacks, or just like all these other silly ones, or like alien clowns from outer space, like that one. But like then there's also the really dark version of it, where it's just like, what if they come here and just fuck us up? The Fourth Kind is like a really good example of that. And then an honorable mention that used to, give me nightmares as a child was when Signs came out.
So a good one. One of the better M. Night Shyamalan movies.
Oh yeah, no, one of the best. I think it's one of his best. I mean, I remember specifically my dad wouldn't let me watch it because he thought it was too scary, and I literally would sneak around the corner to watch it. And it was that scene when the newscaster in Brazil or Colombia or Latin America is sitting there, and all the kids are at the window, and the alien walks past the alley, and they're all like, "Ah!" And that I could not sleep for days after that.
Well, you kind of did it to yourself.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I did it to myself. Didn't have to watch, but I did. But yeah, Aliens scare me. The Fourth Kind, it's a really good movie. It might not be that good, but I think it's pretty scary. I think it's scary.
Well, we can move on, man. I just want to give one more honorable mention. If you got one, I get one. Dead Space 2, my last video game mention of today, but improves upon the original. It's that claustrophobic space. It's Alien versus Resident Evil. You're trapped on this cityscape with the necromorphs coming after you. It's really gruesome, really bloody. You almost the ways that you can die in this game are so inventive that you almost want to kill your character on purpose to see how many different ways he can get dismembered and torn apart. But and then there's really horrible, there's little exploding mutated babies that sound like little babies, and they crawl after you and they explode. And then little kids that come after you. It's crazy. It's just creepy. It just hits all the most dark psychological, parts of, it takes good things and it twists them and it makes them ugly. And I can't wait for the Callisto Protocol, which is the same game company coming out pretty soon. Same kind of action and horror, but yeah.
Nice, dude. I guess my little quick honorable mention is because I really wanted to talk about this movie, but we're running out of time. But it's okay. It's Sinister from 2012. It's honestly one of the only movies where I had to turn my lights on after watching it. I watch movies by myself, and there's some movies that are actually really scary to me. And Sinister was one of those movies where I actually was maybe I shouldn't invite someone over to watch this with me. It's just children are supposed to be the most innocent thing. And once you can corrupt children with this there's this demon that corrupts children that makes them kill their families in really grotesque ways, and it's all through a video camera, and it's just oh man, it was a terrifying movie. And it always plays that. It's that music plays a huge role in horror movies. That sets the mood, and that movie does music terrifyingly. But yeah, Sinister 2012. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's really fucking scary.
Nice, Cam.
Let me drop a quick honorable mention of my own. A movie, I watched it by myself, and then I had a hard time going to sleep. It Follows. I don't know if you've seen that. That one stuck with me. Good. It really bothered me, but I highly recommend that if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, that one's super demented.
Yeah, it's just...
Who directs that one again?
Oh, I don't know.
That was kind of one of those indie films that got a lot of play. I forget who directed it, but great cautionary tale about STDs.
Yeah,
for sure. It's just the relentless.
Yeah, wrap it up, people.
Yeah,
wrap it up.
Speaking of,
speaking of,
we got a fan question, and we don't know. I don't know who this was from, but it says, "What's the fondest Halloween memory you have?"
Oh man, you know what? I'm actually not a big holiday person. I love the entire month of October, and I usually don't do shit on Halloween. I just am down for the entire month. But dude, I don't know. That's a good question.
I think just generally for me, it was when you're a kid and you go trick-or-treating. I have one particular memory when I was living out in Lancaster, Palmdale area, up in the Mojave Desert, and I was 8 or 9 years old. And we were so excited and ready to go trick or treating, and I had I think that year I was I was a shady criminal guy. I had a fake stogie, a fake
super
with
untrustworthy
a dark hat and a trench coat. It was just really not.
Are you sure you're not describing a public masturbator?
Maybe I just didn't know I didn't read the costume description right. But it rained that night. It was this really heavy rain, and our parents. We were kind of really sad and disappointed that we didn't get to go out trick-or-treating. So what our parents did is they took trash bags and they would wrapped us up underneath our costumes, around our legs and around our arms and our torso. And then we put our costume on over that, and we still went trick-or-treating, door to door. And we got a lot of candy because nobody else decided to go out that year because it was raining. We were the only ones dumb enough to go out into the store. And it was in a big apartment building, a big complex We just went door to door, man, and it ended up being a very obviously a fun memory, an abiding one of a great Halloween.
This was actually boosted one of my memories. It was actually a piece of shit memory because I was like, this is terrible. Like, why are we doing this? But like, we used to figure out that if you said trick or treat for UNICEF, that they would give you more candy because they thought you would donate the candy to poor kids. So we used to go up to people's doors and just be like, trick or treat for UNICEF. And like, sometimes they'd give us money and like, we would just pocket it all. Oh, what a terrible piece of shit kid I was.
Little criminal you were.
Yeah, and I even had a buddy that had like the little box that said like UNICEF on it. It was so bad. But yeah, I guess that's my that's my Halloween memory. Was just going around. But I must have been at least 7 or 8. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't really have like a full understanding of morality yet. So, but yeah, that's just my excuse to make me sound less like a piece of shit.
You can be forgiven. Yes.
Yeah. All things.
Well, that's cool, man. That's good spooky list, folks. Let us know what you thought about our spooky list. Send us a DM on Instagram. That's our question, and now we have
this is a game, and I am the game master. And I just wanted to add, like, there are so many good horror movies out there. So if you guys want to let us know, you got any recommendations, send them our way because I would love to check them out. But
wait a minute, Cam. Wait, you have a game? I have a game.
You have the game.
I made myself a game.
Did you? What's the game?
My game is Name That Monster, basically.
Is it Who's Out to Get You? Who's Out to Get You?
Oh, yeah. Did I not? Oh.
Okay, well then.
How about you guys do it for me, and I'll guess.
Oh, okay.
I forgot to unshare it when I.
Yeah, I just read through the entire thing, too, so that wouldn't have worked.
All right. Okay, so this game is for you, Chris.
All right. I think
it's called.
This is the first, huh?
This is the first time you played a game?
No, I played one with Cam another time, but this is the first where it's just me. Yeah.
Oh wow!
All right,
Very exciting.
You're pretty knowledgeable in the movie ways, so I've high hopes for you. So the rules of this game are all basically we're going to name a horror movie or movie franchise, and you have to tell us who the monster or monsters is or are.
Okay.
So this is the warm up one. The first one is Dead Space.
Oh, what's the name of it? I forget the names. I've never played Dead Space. I've only heard you guys talk about it and stuff I've looked up, but it's like the necromorphs or something like that.
That's it. You got it, man.
Yeah, I was hoping you would say like necrophilia or something like that.
You dirty boy.
You dirty boy. Okay, well,
cool.
All right,
go for it, Izzy.
Cam, you take this first one.
Okay, I'll do 1 through 5, and you want to do 6 through 10?
Sure, sounds good.
That's easy peasy peasy. Unless you want to do 1 through 5 because it's literally one of your favorites. But okay, I'll do it anyway.
Go ahead.
All right, so for the first one here, Chris, we have Aliens.
It's going to be the Weyland-Yutani Corporation is the bad guy. They're the real monster. Or it's the Xenomorphs. But
okay, we'll take both answers there.
You get 2 points for that one because there isn't some kind of corporatism commentary within those games.
They're the real monsters. The aliens, they're just beings just trying to, get their nut. They're just trying to eat.
Yeah, they're just trying to survive, man. They're just doing what they're biologically programmed to do.
Hey, it's like she says, you don't see them screwing each other over for a freaking percentage.
Exactly.
There you go. All right, nice. Extra points. All right, number 2, Chris. Hellraiser.
I mean, is it Pinface? The guy with all the nails in his head? They're just demons. Do they have names other than like Pinhead or?
Yes, they do. Oh, okay.
Okay, Pinhead is right.
Pinhead is right. Well, we'll take that.
Or they're also called Cenobites.
Cenobites.
Oh my god.
They love suffering.
Yes. They love cinnamon.
Like that Rick and Morty episode where they're like, we love cringe.
We love cringe. That's why we love Jerry so much. Oh, I hate this. Well, that means I love it, which means I hate it. That's a good episode. But okay, yeah, you got it. Pinhead or Cenobites. Okay, so next one, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I mean, it's Leatherface, but is there a name of the family that I should know?
No.
Even though
I made most of these for Cameron, so some of them are kind of easy.
Oh, they're simple. Wow, thanks, Izzy.
Little simple Jack.
Turns out Izzy's the real monster here.
Yeah, Izzy's the actual real monster here because he thinks I'm an idiot.
It's
But-
the soft horror of low expectations.
Exactly, because like, look at this next one. All right, Chris.
All right.
World of Warcraft.
Oh, that I don't know. Are they orcs?
Okay.
I don't know. Goblins?
Do you know the group they're all a part of?
No. You've said it before, but I usually tune out as soon as I hear the words World of Warcraft come out of your mouth, so...
That's only fair. It is called the Horde, which
The Horde.
honestly,
Okay.
they're just escaping their reality because they're like aliens. They're just trying to survive too. So
Okay,
you know,
the Horde.
Sounds like a bunch of Gen Zers escaping their reality.
they're escaping the reality, man. But yeah, okay. Well, actually, you'll take the L on that one, so I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with that.
Sorry.
That's okay. But here we go. Lord of the Rings. Yep, Izzy definitely made this one for me.
What is it? Sauron or the orcs or the Uruk-hai or...
All those are correct. Sauron's the main answer.
Yeah, or Saruman.
I would disagree, but yeah, I'll take that one.
What, Mordor?
Morgoth?
The real villain is Morgoth. He is, yeah. Sauron is actually just one of his pawns.
All right, nerd.
Yeah.
Don't forget to push
Okay,
your glasses up your nose.
I wouldn't. I won't, and I will hand it over to Izzy to finish this off.
All right, number 6. It.
It's Pennywise,
Correct.
who's really just
I
the
feel
embodiment of any fear that you have. So he'd be an alien for Cam, which he is an alien, and for you, Izzy,
Mhm.
I don't know.
He'd be a person. He'd be a person.
He'd be a bad person.
No, he would probably be like a text message that says you lost your job or something. It's a text message that said you can't
It's a
provide for your
zero
family
balance
anymore.
on my bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, next one. See, now I feel bad because I did really create this game for Cameron,
It's okay.
who's not up on his.
I missed one, so it's not that easy.
All right, next one, Psycho.
Anthony Perkins, Norman Bates.
Correct on both counts, the actor and.
Sorry, sometimes I think Anthony Perkins is the name of the bad guy, and I remember he's the actor. Norman Bates, not Norman Bates' mother.
That's correct. Yep.
Big twist. Spoilers.
Yeah, big twist.
If you haven't seen it by now, you got to get on it.
Yeah, no, it's statute of limitations.
Silence of the Lambs.
Ooh, I'm gonna say Buffalo Bill, because Hannibal Lecter, while he's a bad guy, he's not the main bad guy, even though he does F some S up.
He certainly F those S's at the end. But yes, Buffalo Bill is the answer that I had.
Yeah. Nice trickery.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, he's the true
All right.
villain in that movie.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
I'd fuck me. Goodbye.
He puts the lotion in the basket or gets the hose again. All right, we're going to do these in rapid succession. I'm going to give you all of them at the same time, just to try to hopefully mess you up in some way. Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Halloween.
Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Halloween is Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, and Michael Myers.
You are right, except for the Friday the 13th, because it's his
His
mom.
Don't scream me. Don't do the scream thing. What, are you going to come to my house and murder me now? Come on.
That's see, even in your retorts, you get good movie references with the Scream reference.
I do love movies. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Is that it?
We know.
That's it, man.
That
That's
is it. That is all we
right.
got. All right, good
You only
job,
missed
Chris.
One, man.
Hey, no, you missed only missed one.
It was a video
the most
game
nerdy
one,
out of them
so
all.
I don't
It was a
mind.
video game.
I guess
Yeah, that's
World
fine.
of Warcraft was a movie too that I haven't seen.
It was. And actually, the real villains are the demons, not the Horde. But it's okay.
Yeah.
You got it wrong anyways. I'm not going to rub it in your face anymore.
Medieval, yeah.
Medieval. But that's okay. But yeah, folks, that is all we got for this Halloween episode. We hope you enjoy your October this year. We hope you get yourself into some spooky scenarios, and we hope you eat lots of candy to the point where you puke and reevaluate your life decisions and finally decide to pursue fitness. Yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and
Cue music.